uncover the beast.
Oh man, we got Zach in a silly mood. Hello, everybody. I'm Gabe, and
What's going on?
I'm Gabe, and that's Zach. This guy, you guys may or may not know him. Most of you probably know him better than you know me.
That's a scary thought.
Is it?
I mean, it's scary that this is your show and they know me better than you.
They should, like, if we're being honest for a second, and I hope that we are honest tonight a lot. They should know me more than they should know you.
They should. I mean, yeah. I've been to your streams. You kind of bear it all. It's like Naked Gabe hour.
Well,
hours.
Yeah, well, a lot of hours, but we're also no nudity. We curse a little bit. That's about as close to hard R as we get. But hey, thank you for being here. This is Come Up episode 2. We've done one of these before, but it was so long ago because my PC died.
Didn't even make the first episode, but that's okay.
It's
what are best friends for?
Yeah, we're gonna get into if we're good best friends or not.
Well, is there a test? I hope we have a test.
Well,
I mean, you can put me through the ringer. Personality test, insanity test.
Nah, I'm not. Shit, take the chains off. Put you through the ringer for real.
Lovability test. Goodness.
No, but we're gonna talk about things that we don't talk about a lot, right? We're going to talk about more personal things. The point of this show is to give people some insight into some of their favorite creators, or maybe not so favorite creators, just people that you watch a little bit here and there.
Some of their, just like they're kind of in the mediocre part of the list.
Yeah,
I feel like that's where I
fall. So, my goal with this is to just give people more insight into my alarm, first of all. Second of all, into the mind of what goes into being a quote unquote YouTuber or creator, just a creative person in general. And, it's not always fun. And I feel like that doesn't get spoken about a lot unless you're on Twitter and people are complaining an awful lot. But regardless, we're going to talk a little bit about how Zach came up in YouTube. I want to ask him a little bit about his childhood. We're going to get to know him a little bit more intimately than we otherwise would. Excuse me if I look off to the corner an awful lot. I'm looking at chat. Hello, everybody. We will have a giveaway later. Stay tuned. We have some fun stuff coming later in the show. I am going to be giving away a code for one of my favorite games of the year, Zach. Immortals Phoenix Rising on PC.
What a great game. What a
fantastic game. Unfortunately,
underappreciated game.
I only have a PC code, but stay tuned. That's coming later in the show. For now, I guess.
I mean, you can plug it into your PlayStation. It just won't work.
Yeah, it won't. I mean, it'll do no good. I was going to introduce you, but you don't need that. Everybody here knows you. Like, that's a little bit weird.
What's the introduction that you'd planned? I want to hear it anyways.
Do you lie about your height? That's not the introduction. No. You're 6'3".
I'm 6'2".
Okay, you said 6'3" the other day. So you do lie about your height sometimes.
6'3" is my NBA
There's
height.
A whole 20-minute video where a lot of self-love in that video. There you said you were 6'3". I promise the people that we'd be real here a little bit, right? Yes. Huge shout out to the regulars. If you are not already following me and you recognize me from SwitchForce, I'm Gabe. Hi. Feel free to hit the follow here on Twitch. We do a lot of fun stuff here every Monday, Thursday, and Friday, and a lot of other days. I cheat and don't keep a schedule, but I do more days and not less days. So I guess the first thing that we should get into is, how did you ever decide to get started on YouTube, and what was maybe the first month like? Did you, and we know the answer to this is probably no, but could you have ever imagined that you would get to where you are now with such beautiful hair?
Thanks, man. The hair, no. I promised myself I'd never dye my hair, get a tattoo, or grab a piercing, and I've broken one. I don't see myself breaking the other two, but
just wait till I corrupt you some more.
So I was terrified of going away to college. I had scholarships to University of Southern California in Los Angeles, the film school. And, at the time it wasn't the film school. At the time it was just the liberal arts college. But I was terrified. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to leave my family. And so I needed an alternate plan. And a job wasn't going to be sufficient enough. But I justified to myself, if I had some cool opportunity, that I then could convince my parents not to go. And I told them with tears in my eyes that, I don't want to go, and it's too hard to leave my family. So, I decided that I wanted to, start this YouTube thing. And at the time, YouTube was such an infantile production. Dax Flame, Philip DeFranco, there was very few people doing legitimate stuff. And gaming was basically CNanners, the media cows, and a couple other, Call of Duty, Machinima, Respawn and Machinima Realm YouTubers.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
To Machinima. Like, no one's dead.
I mean, I don't even, maybe not peace, just rest. But so I started off the first month was like, okay, I was very concerned about coming across a certain way. And so if you go look at my early videos, they're very serious. They're very articulately put together. And I will say, like, this sounds crazy, but I did think I was going to be able to do it full time. I mean, that was my goal, but I really did see myself being able to do it, because at the time, what was popular was like basically storytelling commentary, like CNNers talking over Call of Duty videos. And I was like, I can do that. I can make that happen. It didn't happen in the first month, but I genuinely did think I could make it happen.
What a golden era that was. Like, I remember sitting there seeing people talk about like ghosts while playing Call of like not Call of Duty ghosts, just like actual like apparitions and like whatever the hell they wanted.
Tattoos,
like, like their religious
Christmas
beliefs,
time, their family. Yeah,
it was like almost like a no man's land. And I don't even know if I've ever told you this, but when I started doing the walkthrough stuff, you know, because some people may or may not know, I had a short-lived successful run with the walkthroughs as well. By that time, you were already you, but like you were one of the first people like I ever saw.
Oh,
and you weren't on camera. And I copied so many tags off of you. Like the name Ghostobo was in the tags of some of my early videos, because you know back then you had to game. I mean, even now, like you still got to game the system, but back then there was no rules really. I mean, and I guess there was, just no one followed them.
It was just so much more genuine, because people, I mean, most people weren't doing it to be famous or to be popular. It was just doing it, and so there wasn't this like facade that now I feel, you know, 75% of YouTubers and probably 90% of gaming YouTubers put on. There wasn't at least it seemed like there wasn't an act. It was more just doing it. And there, you know, there's plus and minuses about that. I mean, when I started, and I might be totally off base, but I think I was one of, if not the very first person to grab games at midnight and start posting them immediately. Because at the time it was me, the Media Cows, and Rad Brad doing walkthroughs, and that was literally it.
Do you remember that Rajman Gaming or something like that? Like
but that was later.
That was later.
It literally was me, Rad Brad, and Media Cows, and I remember thinking, I know what I'll do. There's a 24-hour Walmart, 10 minutes from my house. I'll go there, get the games, and I'll just start posting as soon as humanly possible. Yeah. And that was my ticket.
That was the wave, like in the beginning, right? Like if you were lucky enough to live in a small town that you could figure out, back then 7-Eleven used to sell games. Like I don't even know if people remember this, but 7-Eleven used to sell games and they gave no damns about street dates. Like they would just post, like you could go, if you were able to rush something up and avoid copyright strikes, because copyright strikes were, way more prevalent back then, I feel like.
Right.
Like you could become someone like right away. But dude, like in preparation for this, I always do this, even though I know you pretty well, so I didn't need to. I went back and saw some of your early videos. And
do you watch the Medal of Honor Game Slice?
No, well, no. Dude, that was one of my favorite videos because you thought you were Giant Bomb. Like you thought you were destined to work for Giant Bomb.
Yeah.
No, but
I mean that was the plan before I did my own podcast with my brother Jake in my basement. No one watched. I had my own game review website. No one read. I submitted things to Dan Shu, former editor-in-chief of EGM, had a website called BitMob where people could submit their like reviews, and I did that. I wrote reviews for Left 4 Dead, the original Tomb Raider reboot, Xenoclash, one of the Splinter Cells, and that my goal, I think, initially was to be like a reviewer.
That went out the window like so quickly,
real fast.
One of the things I want to touch on that you mentioned, right? You said like, hey, like I kind of figured I could do this. Mm-hmm. And you're a decently confident person in your everyday life, in everything, right? Some of us might say you're overconfident in certain aspects, which is a fantastic. I'd rather be overconfident than not have any confidence whatsoever, right? So that's still like an admirable trait. But do you feel like that's like ever like held you back a little bit? That like maybe you do have like these grandiose expectations, and sometimes they don't pan out, and then like that ends up hurting you, right? Because you're human, like we all are, and we all get burned by our own expectations. So like how much do you feel like that's kind of bit you in the butt a little bit?
It's jumping ahead a little bit, but I think the biggest way that it has is, the success that I achieved with Ghostobo was so fast and so, at the time, felt massive. And we're being super blunt here, but never reaching that height again. Whether I had the grandiose vision or the grandiose vision was imprinted on me by the Ghostobo success of the era, like it's very hard to never live up to that.
Yeah, and you're right
in that same way.
We are getting ahead, but like it was just like fascinating because you are one of the few people, and I'm very honest with you, just in our everyday life, right? Like bicker boys, what's up? Like we don't always see eye to eye, but one thing that I do agree with you on is that you are great. Like you absolutely are, but like seeing the way maybe it doesn't always like. I don't want to say that it doesn't work out because I think you have a fantastic life. I think
absolutely.
I think many of us would be incredibly envious of what you have done and what you will probably continue to do in some fashion. But I think that's something that's important. But like let's slow down a little bit and try to take it back to the beginning. Wait, let's just ask this. It's been a long time. How much do you remember how much money you made on your first YouTube check? And that's like the only question we're going to get into. Like,
gosh, the first check, I don't remember. Okay. So in 2010, I started my channel in October, and in 2011, I started making money around.
It took you a year?
March or April, because it was 6 months.
Yeah, dude, it took me like 2 months to make my first check, like on YouTube.
Because at the time I was messaging Joel Rubin, who was an employee at Machinima, trying to get on Machinima Realm because he said Respawn was full, and I was trying to do stuff to get on Machinima Realm. And then they opened up the partner program, and at the time, because again at the time there was no partner program to make money unless you were going to get paid by like Machinima, as far as I was aware, for gaming stuff, to get paid to be on their channel. And then they said, oh, you can just start earning money on your own channel. So I was like, screw this, I don't need Realm. And so I quickly went from 0 to 100,000 subscribers in the first year. And I don't know what my first check was, but it ballooned pretty darn quick.
Yeah. I guess that's what I'm missing. When I asked you that, I expected to hear like, oh, it was like a couple $100, but I forgot that like maybe your blow up or whatever was like way quicker than mine.
Because when I first became a partner was right around the time DC Universe Online came. That was the first game that kind of did well for me. But then LA Noire was shortly after, and like the exponential growth was very large. I mean, I was making. Again, you know what?
Yeah, no, don't get crazy. I honestly expected much smaller
No,
numbers.
it's fine. I mean, by the first year, there were months where I was making 5 figures.
Sure. Who knows, dude? That's so crazy. Like if I compare it to me, like I was so happy when I made $800. I was like, yo, man, we good. We're gonna go.
And
have
that's
some fun.
Like, I know I'm a weirdo, and in ways it's hurt me, but I didn't come into YouTube because I had some creative passion. I didn't come into YouTube because I was, lonely at school. I didn't come into YouTube because I didn't feel like my opinions, people cared about what I had to say. I came into YouTube because I wanted it to be my job. I wanted to do this thing with video games. I loved them my whole life. I wanted to do like journalism, or I wanted to be a reviewer. And then once video started taking over, I wanted to do video. And so like my entry into YouTube wasn't like, I don't know. I see so many people, especially like the mainstays, the Philip DeFrancos, the people like that, who are like, this was my release, this was my outlet, you guys were my safe haven. But like, I will be blunt with you, I wanted it to be my full-time job, and that was the goal from the jump.
Yeah, so you were like, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but you're like a weirdo from the beginning, because a lot of people don't go into it expecting that, especially not now when it is like uber competitive and it's damn near almost a bad idea to do gaming on YouTube. I mean, I don't ever want to discourage anyone, right? Like if you have something different, by all means do your thing. But it's become so weird. And you bringing up that like you started this 10 years ago almost, right? We're getting there.
10 full. Yeah. Well, it's 10 full in October. Yeah.
All right. So you're a 31-year-old man now.
30. I got
weeks,
9 days.
9 days, whatever. Yeah, a couple weeks, whatever it is. You were 20 when you were a child, right? Like in relation to where we are now in our age. How has like growing up in front of people been, right? Not like you're some like child star or anything like that. No. But if you go back and see maybe the first couple videos you were ever on camera, right?
Yeah.
Like you're kind of a vampire. You still look a lot what you look like now. I'll put you right up there with like Pharrell. as like, hey, y'all might be vampires, but like just growing up and aging in this, because this is generally a thing that skews towards a younger audience.
Right.
You know, the video games, right? And video games are for everyone. I'm 31. I'll be playing them till the day I die, you know, probably.
Right.
And while it has like video games have grown up with us, we've also grown up and like in front of people. So like, do you ever think about that? Like, hey, I'm getting older and you know, these years are passing and it's all documented.
Yeah, I don't really ever think about it for myself. I think about it more for my brothers, because like I love that I have like Noah being like a goofy, you know, 9-year-old on my channel, spitting food out and ripping open blind boxes. Sure. But it is interesting, I guess, that it's documented. I guess like the biggest thing that I notice is when I go back and look at those videos, it is surreal to be able to see firsthand how different certain aspects of your mind are, right? There are like goofy vocal affectations and things I said and rhymes I made that like I would never dream of doing now because they're embarrassing or they're childish or whatever. But at the time, like it felt like the you know, the cool, entertaining thing to do. I don't notice so much of a personality difference as much as I notice just the way I can just see the way I process things be different, but it still feels like me. It's still energetic. It's still positive. It's still fun. It's still upbeat. It's still family focused. But like I can just tell that where my headspace was at was not where it's at now.
The rhyming is one of the things that I'll say like has not aged well. Like yeah, like for me, like you know, and I see in chat like somebody saying, hey, like we're older, we play like yeah, like everyone plays video games now. It is like a mass like market thing. Like literally everyone plays games in some fashion. I don't know anyone that doesn't. My mom is a 50-year-old woman.
She plays games?
Dude, well, a game. She's a 50-year-old woman that doesn't speak English, and she like works at a middle school, and she's just as traditional Hispanic as it gets. She plays Candy Crush. Like,
there you go.
So gaming has infiltrated just the masses, right? Which is, you know, there's a double-edged sword with that, I guess. So I didn't mean to say that only young kids play games. I'm just saying the audience that we have, like we see our analytics, oftentimes it is younger. So that's all. I wanted to clear that up for chat. So like you don't feel weird like going back and seeing like those, like how do you feel when you go back and see one of those videos? Like with you're rhyming still. I wonder if it'll ever stop. Like do you think you'll ever stop?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's fun. Maybe it's not anymore. It's just like the way my mind works.
Sure.
The only stuff to me that's cringe is the fact that I have like girlfriend stuff up there. Like that's the thing only thing that I feel weird about.
Have you ever taken it like you haven't taken that stuff down?
No.
Or have you ever considered taking it down?
No, because again, it just serves as sort of a time capsule for me, and it's not so embarrassing. It's not like I'm doing something like, oh, put my girlfriend in Jello prank challenge or something.
I don't even mean embarrassing, but it's just like it's like such a weird. We'll get away from this super quickly. But your girlfriend's being who your ex is being who they are. Yeah. Like it doesn't ever like freak you like, hey, like maybe I should delete that, like because you know we don't know how certain people react.
No, I'm not really concerned, I guess. And everything is so like they're not life vlogs really. I mean, well, that's not true. Yeah, well, I mean, in California I had plenty.
Yeah, I was saying back, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
If you don't think about it, I mean that's fine. I mean
no, I don't. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to something else. Again, we were towing a line there. In these 10 years though. Yeah. I want to try to identify, and I'll do some with you, right? Because I've made a lot too. 10 years is a long time. Nobody's perfect.
Yes.
Nobody's perfect. Or what does Pam say that one episode? She says backward.
Oh, yeah. I heard. Oh, that's corny, man. If I was Pam, I would be deleting my videos. Goodness gracious. Frankenbeans. Like, we don't need that ever again.
So let's talk about some of the big mistakes we have made along the way. And I've made some with you, right? I worked with you on a channel for 3 years, and, you know, I will continue to work with you in some fashion. It'll always, you know, it's probably more limited now than ever. But I feel like you and I will probably be friends till the day we perish in some fashion. I feel like we have that type of friendship. So let's try to identify the first big mistake you made. Oh. And I feel like this is an easy one. I have your answer. But I wonder if you think it's something. I wonder if you think it's
not finishing walkthroughs.
Like that's the one. How much do you think that hurt you? Do you think that actually impacted it? Do you think that some of the downslide for Ghostobo was because you didn't finish walkthroughs?
I think early on it was fine because I couched it with these like very YouTuber-esque moments. I remember sitting there being like, guys, it's been really hard. Like, you know, I broke up with my girlfriend and my family's been stressing. Like, that's such a YouTube thing. People do it now. And it's so like,
yeah, they do.
But I think those were fine. But it was I mean, one of the first ones, Gabe, turned into a really great moment. When I quit Dark Souls because it was too frustrating, that brought a ton of fans to that series. And then when I brought it back, and because I would do goofy stuff back then, the Dark Souls episode 50, the movie, and it would be an hour long, because hour longs back then was like such a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think one or two would have been fine, especially in my like dramatic YouTuber guys. I'm trying my hardest. I mean, it's to step, you know, adjacent real quick. It's so interesting to me to see that. Like, I look back and I recorded a video in the hallway of my hotel during the time when my family was out of town. And I look back now and be like, what am I doing? You know, you see people with these highly produced videos. Your stuff looks good. Beat 'em up stuff looks fantastic. It's like, what was I thinking that I was recording with my pool towel in the hotel hallway? But like, I promise, like, that was normalized then. It wasn't high production value. I mean, very few people were. Maybe Smosh was at the time.
Yeah.
But very few people were. And it was that like connection that, you know, and I wrestle with that constantly, like the professionalism and the polish versus the genuine just connection. And I don't know what was more beneficial, but I do know that not finishing 60% of the games I started was a massive downfall. Because like, let's be honest, Ghostobo reached pretty significant success.
For sure.
Was it managed properly? Was it handled? No. But I think, and maybe this is me just being a little narcissistic, but I think I could have been in Rad Brad's shoes if I had handled it right.
And you know, some of the regulars here know that I am a stone cold narcissist, and I'm open about it. But you know, so are you. We have those personality types, you and I, and maybe that's why we gravitate towards each other so much. But okay, yeah, maybe not finishing the walkthroughs. Like, was Brad finishing things so much quicker? Like, do you know?
Everything.
Yeah. I mean, for better or worse, that guy's a machine. Just pumping stuff out.
The hard part is, and you know this, but maybe they don't. Like, that's my personality, though. It's not a game specific thing. Like getting bored, changing course,
Yeah, for sure.
Mixing it up. Like, so it was more a product of me than it was, something bad was happening with the channel.
You are way more relaxed about things than like I feel like if you were a little bit more disciplined about certain stuff, right? Like even like in the beginning of SwitchForce, right? When we said, hey, we're gonna be on at 3 p.m. and it's like, 2:45. I'm like, hey Zach, I'm gonna be like an hour late, maybe more. Like you're so willy-nilly about everything, which is not, again, I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just your personality, and I'm not that way at all. Like I hate being late. I hate taking people's time, and you're always like, oh, it's okay. Like, it'll happen when it happens. Airports is the worst. Y'all don't know, man. There's been times where I'm visiting Zach, in his lovely home state, or I don't know if it's home state, but a state that he lives in.
Current state, Indiana.
Yeah, his current state. And like, I'm like, hey, like, I really want to get to the airport, like, an hour or two before and Zach's like, hey, it's a tiny airport, dude. You'll be fine. Let's just get there a minute before he does not a minute, but he's
30 minutes, man.
Dude, that's why you miss so many flights. Like, and again, that is just your personality. And maybe it's not so well suited. Maybe it was well suited in the beginning because there wasn't a lot of competition. But when the competition starts, right, there's more people doing this every single week, right, coming up. And production value doesn't matter. It's just more, hey, get the shit up, the stuff up. Like, your personality just almost like was a huge deterrent.
Huge. And I didn't have the foresight, and I didn't have anyone in my ear. Like, for me, it was like, okay, the views are dropping. My time is better spent somewhere else. Let's do something else. Let's get more views. Let's get on the YouTube trending, because back then trending was so easy. Let's change course and find what's going to work and get more excitement, build more hype. And it like, I just stupidly didn't have the foresight to see, like, no, the completing of the things, the trust that builds the audience, the confidence that builds in them. That didn't dawn on me that way. And I think, honestly, having series blow up so early, right? I mean, we're talking LA Noire was a couple 100,000 view part one, and I had like, I don't even know if I had 10,000 subscribers. So we're talking like massive success on these part ones very early, and I feel like that then really jaded me that like every video should be huge to be worthwhile. And so when a series would start to taper off, I was like, well, I'll just make more part ones because those are the ones that do well. And that was just such a horrible misstep.
And it snowballs, right? Because, you know, the mistake that we're identifying is, hey, you didn't finish, you know, walkthroughs, and you didn't finish them because the views naturally trail off. Like part 35 isn't going to do as well as a part one, right? Part one shows up on search, part 35 doesn't. It's just how it's the nature of the beast, and letting that go. So I mean, okay, cool. That's the big one, right? I feel like that's something we can like unanimously like say. Let's get on to maybe another mistake. Do you have a like? I don't even know how often you think about these things. I know we talk.
Oh God, so much, man.
So what's another one that you can like identify and say like, hey, I really messed that up. Like if I wouldn't have done that, I would be in such a better place.
Trying to be a channel that got big views on everything. I mean, I looked at it was just silly because the people I was comparing myself to were releasing one video a week, maybe 2 videos a week, or they had a consistent show. And that wasn't what the channel was. The channel was variety. The channel was spontaneity. The channel was blind boxes and taste tests and game walkthroughs. And I kept feeling like I wasn't gaining ground because I'd post a vlog and it would get 22,000 views, and I'd post Dark Souls 2 Part 1 and it'd get 1 million views. But I think if I had just done more of like early, not now, but early, if I had done more of just what I wanted to do, it didn't feel like I was doing like good work, but I think that I was building so much of a connection with people, chasing my brothers around the house, doing these taste tests, and that content doesn't really work anymore. But at the time,
the rap and the toilet Noah, like
I should have just doubled down on all of that, and I should have stopped caring so much. But I do wonder, and I don't know what the mistake is here, but my output was so insane, and I don't know if that. I don't know what's like if I should have just we're talking about outputting more, right? Finishing the walkthroughs, just doing more. But in some ways, I think maybe my output was just. I mean, there were days where I was putting out 20 videos, because that's what you did, and.
But
I don't know. Oh, another one real quick is I wish that I would have had somebody to help me, because for the first until we started SwitchForce, I did literally everything by myself, and. Not only did I do everything by myself, but I had nobody advocating for brand deals, nobody advocating for channel direction. The networks are all a joke. They never do anything they say.
Man, 100%.
They're supposed to be a representative. They sell you on these big things. I mean, Gabe, I was at the level where Machinima flew me out to LA just to meet with me and pitch me on what they wanted to do with the channel, and they did none of it. And if I had somebody, or if I had been smart enough to recruit somebody that could have helped me, I think milked. I think Ghostobo could have been so much bigger than it was. If I had been smart about it.
For me, when you started doing the taste test, right? And there are a lot of people here that love the taste test. They tell me all the time how much they enjoy that side of you, right? Like they like seeing your family. Like they like shout out to your family. Zach has a wonderful family. Much love to his mom and his brothers and great people. But we like love that stuff, including me, because I don't believe I knew you when you first started them. So like I was like, oh, like this is like kind of like silly, but it fits so well with your entire vibe, like just with the energy that like emanates from your body. Like those were like genuinely a blast, and I feel like a lot of people like them. And for me, that's maybe one of your shortcomings. Like saying you want a more personal connection is cool, but then when the time comes to maybe like not only plant the seed for the personal connection, but water it, sunlight, you got a personal connection doesn't happen overnight, right? Like you making a video saying, oh, I'm sad. Like sure, maybe that's a little bit more of your personality. But after that, if someone leaves a comment on your video saying, hey, like it sucks that you're sad, but this is how your stuff makes me feel. I feel like if you would have gone in there and said, hey, thank you. Like, and I know you did sometimes, and it's impossible to do it for so many, but maybe figuring out a way to build on those connections and keep them around.
It's really interesting that you brought up the thing about like my nonchalance, because like let's make no mistake, I'm a very intense person, but I do think, and because I never understood it, I remember talking to Jobless Gamers Garrett. I remember talking to Mr. Fruit. I remember talking to Zach Scott. I remember talking to Blitzwinger. And everybody had this anxiety around missing days, around missing videos.
Yeah.
And I have that to an extent, but nowhere near the same way. And like there's some good about it. I mean, I'm healthy. I've never had any like issues. I haven't had like a series of years where I was really unhealthy or but I think if I was more, I guess, afraid at the time, I would have been in a better spot.
Yeah, but you know, I can speak for me and you know, for certain other people that tell me like, hey man, we really like the personality stuff, and I feel like if you would have stuck with that when you first started it, right? Like some of those taste tests like were like legitimately funny, and you know, I'm not like such a like I'm goofy, yeah, but not like on that level of goofy. But I loved them. I thought they were fantastic, and I wonder what would have happened. I mean, you know, who knows, right? Spilled milk. What would have happened if that's something that you would have maybe focused on a little bit more instead of just like, hey, like 36 parts, like.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know why I couldn't see it, but if someone had told me like, hey, you have these taste tests that are getting 300,000 views,
phenomenal.
Let's turn that into a series. Let's, you know, I don't know, like now picture SwitchForce having a taste test series that got 100K per video.
You reach out to all these weird candies and be like, hey,
that thing would be branded in a minute. It would be bankrolling my entire life. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, I mean,
and here I was thinking, I don't have as many views as Rad Brad. That's my last. We can move on, but my last mistake was the freaking specter of that single person. God.
And I want to be clear, like we don't have any like actual animosity towards Brad the person.
No, I'm sure he's fine and good. No, it's just my relationship with his channel, like, or not even my relationship.
Success, right? Like when you're doing super good, but then there's this like giant shadow, of like this guy that's just like on another level. Like it's impossible. All right, but that's enough of mistakes. Let's talk about some love now. Let's talk about what you love about YouTube, right? Because we're slanting negative in the beginning of the conversation. I promise we'll get to good stuff. So, like, I can speak for you here. I think you are blessed that you get to wake up every single day, play a game that lets you, you know, restart your Nintendo Switch a whole bunch, and you know, make content of it. Like, it's still like fun. Like, you're not doing manual labor. Like, you're not doing you're not doing anything like crazy, and you know, you're great, but. What is something right now that you like love about being a content creator?
I mean, I think the best thing is just like being the master of your own destiny. Kind of, you can put in as much time as you want, put in as little time as you want, control what you do. There's obviously downsides to being like, what do I do? But having the freedom, the flexibility, the authority to dictate your days and dictate your life is something that didn't really dawn on me until just the last couple of years. Of like, why am I the way I am? Why do I want to have, you know, this and that? Why do I behave this way? And like, so much of it is because of, I did work a few small jobs before YouTube, but I've basically had autonomy since I graduated school, which is just
that's awesome.
You know, yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. Also, being able to make some impact, it's very hard. Like, and I don't know why, but you know, we talked about I'm a confident person, but it's when I do get those nice messages, like it's very easy to just say, oh, this is just one person. But like there has to be there's some truth to them. And so that's very nice as well. Impact being, whether it's 10 people, 10,000 people, doesn't really matter. You know, most people's jobs, most people's day-to-day, you know, unless you're a teacher or a social worker, you know, a lot of people aren't directly impacting people. They're impacting people through, hey, I'm a garbage man and I make the neighborhood look great, or I'm a, you know, whatever. And that's all fantastic. But having that direct, it's so normal to me. I don't know if you feel this way, but like if you break it down logically, it's like people watch me every single day. And it's a really absurd fact when considered that way.
Like shout out to the regulars here on my stream, because like a lot of us do have like a deeper connection at this point. Like we know personal things about each other. I'm way more open about stuff than you are, which is, you know, fine. It's just a choice we make. But yeah, like these people spend hours of their life with you in one way or another, right? Whether it be in certain number of people that watch like every Animal Crossing video you do, right?
Right.
Like maybe that number isn't gargantuan so much anymore, but I've seen the messages that you've received. I've seen the messages that I
Yeah.
received. You know,
Yeah.
it brings a tear to your eyes sometimes when someone says like,
Mhm.
"Hey, man, I was like having like such a terrible day, and like watching you for an hour or whatever, like, you know, it brought me out of a place that wasn't so good." Like stuff like
Right.
that is why I don't believe I would ever just like fully stop doing this
Yeah.
personally.
That makes good sense.
Yeah. So it can, other than the flexibility and the personal stuff, like
I mean, I've been able to help my family so much. I've been able to
not
help
just
other people so much.
the open, you helped me a ton.
Yeah. So
Like
that's been
you like
great.
you are. Let me say nice things about you. You don't gotta say them.
Okay.
You are a kind, caring, giving, gracious. Like I can't find enough positive words to say. Like you are great, and like I feel like maybe that gets lost sometimes because just like you are critical of yourself, I feel like maybe a lot of some other people are critical of you too. But
Yeah.
I feel like if they knew you a little bit more, they'd be more understanding about certain things. So you do deserve kudos. You absolutely do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, and it's tricky because like I'm a very open person in day-to-day life. I've never felt, and you know, you could categorize this as a mistake or a smart choice, but I've never felt good about just like blasting my emotions on YouTube. Oh, I'm feeling depressed today. Oh, I was super generous. This is what I did. Like we talk about all
Yeah,
the time.
yeah.
Like there's corny stuff, there's like immature stuff, and I guess whatever it's categorized as, like I am very transparent on YouTube with who I am, but I'm not about to go air my dirty laundry on a video. I guess that's like the way to put it.
Yeah, but I don't even know what that means. What is dirty laundry? Like
Well,
really?
no, or even clean laundry. Like you know,
Use me as an
most people
example.
don't.
Like I mean, if you want, like if you don't want to get
No, I'll
yourself.
use myself. Most people don't know that, you know, my parents went bankrupt. I funded their house and lives in my brother's school for a while. They don't know that I've, you know, supported you often, but I'm not about to go talk about that because
No. Yeah. Well, I don't mean like so much stuff like that. Like I'm trying to like think of like specific examples, and you know I'm drawing a blank right now, but yeah, I mean,
it's also look it's hard to. I feel like it's very easy for people to identify with somebody who's
hey,
badass or something.
there. All right, you're good. You had cut off. Go ahead.
Oh, I feel like it's hard. It's easy for people to identify with someone that has a very bombastic personality, but I think it's a lot harder to convey just pleasantness, you know, or goodness, or whatever you want to say.
Like that's one of the things that bothers me the most about, you know, because people ask me things about you, right? And like one of the common things I get asked is like, is he as nice as he pretends to be? And I say wholeheartedly, he is not pretending. He is that nice. Like he is genuinely that nice. Like people say like that has to be a facade, right? Like he has to just be like playing that. No, this dude is like, I mean, I won't say you're an angel, but like you're as close as you know other than me.
I got the baby face.
Yeah, no, like you are a phenomenal human,
Appreciate it.
and you know I just wanted to give you the credit for that because I don't know. I see in chat like someone said I'm putting you on blast. No, I'm not.
No,
All right, cool. So
we made the do not discuss list. Don't worry.
yeah, now we have that. I'm gonna break. No, I'm joking. All right, so we talked about what you love about YouTube. Like, what's something that you currently hate? But let's try to stay away from the comparing yourself to others thing because, like, you know, we've already touched on that. Like, what is one thing right now that you could change about your day to day YouTube stuff that you would change?
Not knowing what I'm doing on a questioning what I'm doing on a daily basis. And I don't think that falls under comparison. It's just I would love to be in the head of 10 other YouTubers and know if they are as confused on a daily basis as I am.
Here, let's play a game.
Okay.
Let's pick 3 YouTubers that you would like to be in the head of. Like, who are the 3? Like, if you could take a peek inside 3 minds that are content creators to see, like, hey, like, how do you think about these things?
Yeah.
And like, how different is it than what you do? Why you think? Think. All right, so everybody, there is a giveaway coming up. We have Immortals Phoenix Rising. available on PC. I have a code that I'm going to be giving away soon. I'll tell you how to enter that a little bit later. We also have merch that is dropping tonight, and I'm actually wearing the hoodie. That's my hoodie. And we will be giving away some merch too. So stay tuned for that. If you guys are a fan of what we do, or what I do, Zach just happens to be here today, and you want to show support and love, stay tuned. But in the meantime, do you got some people? Whose mind do you want to be inside of?
I'd love to know Video Game Donkey, if so much of what he does is just genuinely him, and if there is like a very conscious plan there. I'd love to be in the head of Ethan H3H3 because he had a dramatic shift of content and it worked out perfectly. And I'd love to know how that process was. And I don't really care about the walkthrough people anymore. So I'd say beat 'em ups just because I think his stuff is very good. And I guess I just
would do beat 'em ups over Spawnwave. I feel like beat 'em ups has a similar mind to you.
But I feel like Spawnwave's success is very easy to zero in on. Whereas I would want to know more of the thought process of beat 'em ups, not of how he makes the videos, but like what was the tactic, or is there that's the main thing. Is there a plan, or is there not? That's what I want to know most. Is there even a plan?
Yeah.
You know,
how much of it is just like, falling forward?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but people keep telling me I sound like Donkey, and I don't believe it.
I've never got it. I've never understood it at all.
People have told me it for years, but like lately on the streams, like they keep saying it.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay. That was a fun little game. That wasn't planned out. So
I like that game.
All right. Let's talk about regrets, right? And not about YouTube. I want to move away from YouTube and just talk about you a little bit more.
Okay.
So in life, we all have regrets, right? Frank Sinatra made a pretty famous song about it one time. I love that song. And I feel like for me, mine are so easy, right? And you could probably say mine. Don't say mine, but you could. Like they are very easy to just point out. I feel like for you, maybe they're like a little rougher. Like I cannot figure out what,
You think my regrets are rougher or harder to identify?
Sorry, it's harder. I meant harder. It's harder to pinpoint them because I can't do it, right? In knowing you how I know you, I'm like, okay, like what do I think is something that Zach like really like regrets in his life that is not YouTube related? And dude, like I struggle. I can't think of any.
I mean, one would be I wish I had pursued basketball more aggressively. I think I was.
Oh, you're trash. It's okay.
Yeah, but dude,
I'm joking.
At some point when I was 12, I was pretty darn good.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a huge regret because how passionate I am about sports.
Do you regret being a Lions fan? That should be one.
No, man. My favorite thing. The drama. The drama. I regret. I mean, it is YouTube related, but I regret how I handled the first half of my because things come easy to me. I mean, my high school MO was like, let's do as little as possible to come out with straight A's, and I wish I didn't coast as much as I. It's like really hard. It's hard being. I mean, this sounds so arrogant, but I don't mean it that way. It's just hard when you know you can coast to not coast, and it takes discipline. And
for sure.
I wish I didn't coast as much as I did. I probably should regret one that you and I would both think of, but I don't regret it because I think it helped me grow, and I don't. I think that was an important experience to have.
I wish you would have listened to me sooner on that.
Yeah,
because like I was telling you from day one, but regardless.
Yeah. That's about it. It's just the not coasting thing, doing more, and the basketball thing that I feel are kind of the big ones.
You brought up high school, so let's go somewhere fun for a little while. God. First, tell me like what was your like childhood like? Like I know the environment, right? But these people.
Right.
So before we get to high school, because we want to get there, because I have some fun questions there. But like, what was your adolescence like? Maybe from like age like 6 to like 11. Like, what was that like?
Wholesome as heck. So wholesome. Me and Jake playing puppy dogs in the basement, going on bike rides. I mean, it's funny because there are parts of my personality that like shine through, even at that point. Like,
sure.
You knowing me so well, like me and Jake biking, and Jake's 6 and I am 10, and we're trying to bike to the park to play tennis, and Jake can't go as fast as I can on the bike. And so I'm yelling at him to keep up. And the reason I'm yelling is because I want him to cross the road faster to not get hurt or whatever. But I'm so relentless with the comments and the nonstop commentary that eventually he throws his bike down and walks home.
That's
like
Jake.
that's Jake and that's me, right?
Yeah.
Like that's it. Yeah. But no, it was very wholesome. I'm one of those people that can say like I didn't have any like big problems. I was never bullied. My parents loved me to death. They did everything for me. Those were the years where I really got into basketball. Those are the years where I was going to, basketball camp 4 weeks of summer and learning that and doing that. Skipped a few grades. That was really good times because like that's right when me and Jake were like best buds. Noah was about to be born. We got our puppy Kobe, and
rest in peace. Rest in peace. We can say rest in peace to Kobe, right? He's peaceful, hopefully.
She.
My bad.
Rest in peace to not Kobe Bryant, named before Kobe Bryant hit the league.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm sappy, but like those are kind of like the golden days, like that 6, 7, 8, 9 age range. It's just beautiful.
What's that thing that Andy Bernard says in The Office? He says like, how good would it be? Or so, I'm gonna butcher it, but he says that it'd be great to know that you're in the golden days before you actually leave
when you're in them.
Yeah. So like you had a very happy childhood, right? And that's apparent by your personality, right? So I mean that's really good. I promise I'm gonna play hide and seek with you next time we're in the same room together.
Yeah, learn that about you. It's one of your favorite games.
Yeah, I love hide and seek so much, man. I'm too big for it now. All right, but let's talk about high school, Zach, right?
Okay.
Even now, you're like rhyming in videos occasionally. Like, did you wear the oversized clothes? Like how was your high school experience? Like, did you get bullied? Were you the bully? Like, what group of people did you hang out with? How was that?
If I describe my high school experience to you without knowing me, you'd think that it was miserable. But I promise it wasn't. I had no desire to have a girlfriend. I had no desire to party. I didn't ever feel like I was missing out. I wanted to miss out because I didn't like how people were. I was both immature and mature, right? I was mature because I didn't cuss people out and have, stupid potty humor. And I did, pick on girls, but I was immature in that I felt uncomfortable in almost every social situation. And I felt nervous around things that were different. And so I was a homebody. I always wanted to just hang out with Jake, play Mario baseball, throw the football, practice basketball. And I went to school, got my A's, and came home. I had very few friends. And it would have been better if I did have friends, but I can honestly say, like, I wasn't sad I didn't have more friends. I wasn't sad that I didn't go to the parties. I wasn't sad that I didn't get along. Like, that was just my personality. And I remember one specific time because I moved to California for high school, and I went to a public school for the first time in my life. And it was a massive complex,
sure,
the school. And I remember one of at parent-teacher conferences, my English, you got to get Zach to realize that, like, kids are growing up. And, like, I remember, like, our, like, assigned reading time, I was reading, like, a book about Disney Imagineers, and he told my mom, like, I think he's got to, like, drop the whole, like, whimsical thing and just move on. And that was just weird, and I guess indicative of. It's not that I didn't fit in. I feel like more people wanted to hang out with me than I wanted to hang out with them. I just kind of did my own thing. I played a lot of sports. That was my big focus.
Did you play varsity basketball?
A little bit, not enough. That I went through puberty way late.
Did you know that I played 2 years of varsity basketball?
I did not know. I didn't know.
My only high school picture that exists, because back then I refused to take pictures even back then. One high school varsity, like, because I was there for 2 years in varsity. I took pictures once, and like I don't know why I let them talk me into it. Like, I was super uncomfortable. Like, I don't like group pictures. I don't like pictures.
He was afraid of the camera.
Much less group pictures. And we're all matching, because you're in the uniform. Like, nah, man, that's the 3 things I hate. So, all right, cool. Your high school experience was maybe like a little more sheltered, right?
It was definitely sheltered, but it wasn't bad. No one ever bullied me. I mean, I was known as a smart kid. Luckily I was good at sports, right? I was MVP of the tennis team. I, ran varsity cross country. Basketball didn't work out, but the main point that I think people would love to know about high school is my freshman year, I grew from 5'2" to 6'2", which was massive. Or 5'2" to 6 foot. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I gained virtually no weight, so that was fun.
Yeah.
And then I missed 76 days my freshman year of high school.
Oh, Why? Because like you
Sick
just,
a lot.
oh, you're sick.
Yeah.
I
And I
miss
skipped a lot.
days, but I was done. All right. So I'm guessing this didn't happen in high school. When was your first kiss? It was in high school, right?
No.
No? Oh, man.
21.
21. Sheesh. You know,
I was afraid of girls, man.
you should still
It
you should still be afraid of
it was a scare. I mean,
girls are scary. I mean, guys are scary. Everyone's just scary.
I remember my junior year of high school is when I first started being like, man, I wish I had more confidence around girls. Man, maybe it would be fun to have, some interaction with girls. And
How weird of a thought is that? Maybe it would be more fun to have more interactions with girls.
and Gabe, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I had like an email fake relationship that went over like hundreds of emails
Hey,
for a couple of months.
hey, look at that. Nah, I mean, we
But
all
no,
we
yeah.
all had those, right? Like that. Were you lurking in the AOL chat rooms at any given
Oh
time?
yeah.
You've asked another human ASL at one point in your life? Oh hell yeah, man.
Yeah. No, it was 21, which is weird, but here's the other thing, and like I don't know how much of an effect this has, but like I feel like so many people, at least that I knew, that like had girlfriends earlier, had sex earlier, had whatever, it was like compensating for something, and I had such this like, sheltered isn't even the right word, Gabe, because my parents weren't like restrictive, but just like this wholesome,
It's a bubble. It was a bubble.
idyllic bubble. And so like I had plenty of love for my family. I had plenty of fun for my family. And so there wasn't as much of a need to venture out of that,
Yeah. I mean, but I find it fascinating that you didn't just like feel that. Like for me, and the way I grew up is so different from the way you grew up. It's totally different. But like I wanted to just be around people, right? Because I had, like, my mom was always working, right? And that was my family for a long time. I had my brother and sister, but they're all babies. I'm the oldest. So for me, it was always, dude, it carries on to this day. Like, that's such a funny thought. It's always about like, hey, like I need to be around people. Like I love being alone to an extent, but like I also need friends. Like I still need it. Like it's crazy that like it just hit me. A lot of the same issues that you and I talk about related to me every single day. I've been having them, dude. I've been having them. Oh, man, my mind is blown right now. You guys don't even know. All right, cool. So now
when was your first kiss? What age?
I was maybe 16.
Okay, that's late.
Huh?
I would have thought
because
it was
I didn't lose my virginity until I was like 19. Like I wasn't out there being like some like partying. Like my childhood was not good, but like it's also like not like it's just different. Like the stuff that were like obstacles for me were not that. I've always been comfortable with females, guys. Like I've always just been comfortable with people. Like I feel like I'm decently social. Like you've seen me, right? Like I'm very nice. Like in person, like
Absolutely.
even on streams, like I get kind of like raunchy sometimes because I don't know. Like that's just kind of what I morphed into. But in person, I'm super nice. I'm super respectful, and I've always been that way. And no, it's always kind of helped me out. But yeah, but my first date. Wasn't even. Did I tell you about like the time that I was gonna go see one of the like early Harry Potters with this? Her name was Mary. I remember her name actually.
No.
So like I borrowed my mom's truck. Like she had a truck back then, and like I felt like I was so cool because I was driving it, and like I was gonna take this girl to the movies, and she tells me like, "Hey, can my brother come?" I'm like, I don't want him to. But I don't want him to, but whatever. Come on. And then like I feel like I'm so cool. I got a couple dollars in my pocket. I'm like, oh man, let's go to this Dairy Queen. Get some ice cream before we go see this movie. Like yeah. So we go to this Dairy Queen, and I had just learned how. Like I felt comfortable driving. I just didn't feel comfortable driving a truck. And like right next to the drive-through, there's this giant like metal trash can, like the big like trash cans.
Yeah.
And like I'm going and I'm like talking to her, like I'm looking her in the eye while like it's like a stupid scene out of a movie where I'm thinking I'm so cool, and right when I'm like going, like I just scrape against the trash can, and I completely like mess up all the like the driver's side of my mom's truck. Like it was like messed
Trucks
up.
are hard to drive. I drove your mom's truck.
Yeah, you did drive my truck. No, but at that age, I'm not that I'm not stupid now, but I was extra stupid. Like
For sure.
Okay, let's share a little bit. I want you to share 3 things that maybe you've never shared before. They don't have to be super deep or crazy, but just like what are 3 things that an average fan wouldn't know about you that you would like for them to know?
Oh, that I'd like for them to know.
Or maybe
Well,
they
that
don't. Or or maybe that you don't. Just, three things that you haven't previously shared before on the internet. Even though you're pretty open. Yeah, but
yeah, so many of them are bad things, but
it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
of
You don't have any.
I mean, I don't have one of our biggest differences is I don't have any real friendship or amicability with like any of my ex-girlfriends at all.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's a big difference.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
The divorce of my parents has been incredibly difficult to watch my dad transform psycho.
Sure.
One
more.
Me and Jake and Noah recorded a Naruto home movie when I was like 16, 17. Jake was like 13 and Noah was like 5, 6. And we all like dressed up and had like,
You did
outfits
the run, like you did this thing?
We didn't do the run, but we also had
man.
this great home movie that we made with little action figures. And my favorite scene was we had a little play school guy with a beard and he looked like Jesus. And we played Kanye West Jesus Walks as this guy. And we had a string tied to him and we walked him across water because he was like the powerful like Jesus wizard guy. And he had to fight the Cyclops. And yeah, I lost those or we lost them.
I was about to ask you, man, please tell me those still exist somewhere.
They were so good. I've always been so sad that I didn't have those. But.
Right. Okay. Those are great. Those are great. All right. So.
I'll give you one more.
Oh, okay. What's up?
And you will disagree with this, but I'm a very romantic and sensual person outside of YouTube.
I do disagree with that.
Yeah, that's fine. You can disagree if you want. You're wrong.
Speaking of disagreements, it's a good little segue here. All right. You have this thing. Hey, Max, thanks for that, buddy. You have this thing where like, and you're going to say no, I know you are. But it's happening right now with The Mandalorian. You have this thing where if the masses love something, you automatically hate it. Like no matter what the quality of it is.
Everything, like BioShock, Animal Crossing.
Yeah, but you almost preemptively hated Animal Crossing. We talked about it a lot. Like you've said some bad stuff about Animal Crossing before you played it.
Yeah.
So, like, how are you making any strides towards being more accepted? Like, I guess the real question is, how do we get you to flip that switch to where like you stop caring so much about what others think about things and you just form your own opinions?
If you have the answer, I'd love to hear it.
I do have
my own opinion though. Like,
but it's often based on nothing.
Like The Mandalorian is not a good example. I have given you the genuine reasons for why I dislike that show, but I know what you're saying. I'm naturally, I am okay preemptively reviewing something.
Dude, and I don't understand how. Like certain.
You're so the opposite that I think that's why it occurs so strange. At least I assume. I think that's why it occurs so strange to you.
Like, because some things make sense, right? Like we can preemptively hate like drugs and alcohol, right? That stuff harms people, right? But
we're talking more like if I'd hated the last Assassin's Creed, I know I'm going to hate the next one. Whereas you're like, maybe it's potentially my favorite game.
It could change. Like, Cyberpunk, right? Cyberpunk right now, like you going into it, you're like, hey, like, I think this might suck. And it's based off nothing other than just like the hype.
Well, no, it's based off of nothing would be if I didn't see any trailers, previews, read anything, hear anything. So it's based off something.
Yeah.
I do not like blind love. So instead I'd give blind dislove. It's not really hate.
Don't you rather have the blind love?
I think blind love is silly. Unless it's for like kittens or children.
Hey, Zach might get a cat soon. I'm so excited for that.
I really hope so. They haven't emailed me back. But I think there's an emotion that everyone, or not everyone, most people love to tap in blindly or even without reason or without judgment or without criticism. And I understand that. And it's something that, and I don't know how much we've shared, between me and you about this, but I wish I was more of a fan of things. That's something I've longed for. I know you hate Star Wars, but I've always wanted to be a bigger Star Wars fan. I've always wanted to be a bigger fan of a game. I've always thought about, like, on a regular basis from, high school till now, of like, I wish I was more a super fan of something, and it's just hard for me to have buy-in because I guess I'm too occupied with noticing flaws, and I don't know, I get bored easily. But yeah, I wish I was a better fan.
Yeah.
I'm a great fan of the Lions. You
That's
got to
it.
give me
Like, you
that.
picked such a bad thing to be a fan of.
I know. I know.
All right. Another fun thing I
It's a
want to talk
curse.
about. We've talked about this, so like it's almost like anticlimactic because I know what you're gonna say. But this monolith, man, these monoliths, it keeps getting a little crazier each day. And I ask you, right? Also, the New York Times had written like fake things before, like, and like there is a whole section of the New York Times that's just BS completely.
Yeah.
So I don't know where you saw it, but for those of you that don't know, there has been monoliths popping up all over the world. It started off in Arizona, I believe. Utah. I keep mixing those up.
Utah.
One of the barren ones. And now there's been maybe 3 or 4 more occurrences. No one knows what it really is. We feel like it's marketing for something, but I think it's a phenomenal time to like guess like, hey, 2020 has brought us so much BS. The last thing that would put the cherry on top is aliens. Do you think there's even a 1% chance it's aliens?
No.
So tell us what you actually think it is.
I think it's either a goof or a marketing stunt, but I don't know what it's too elaborate for a goof, but I don't know what it would be marketing for, and they're playing kind of a long game here.
Yeah, what would they be marketing, dude? There's nothing dropping.
It could be something as dumb as like a new platinum credit card. You know what I mean? Like,
Really? They're doing this for a new platinum credit card? Come on.
Yeah, I don't. There's no way that a wooden structure with a metallic exterior.
We don't know that it's wood. Like, maybe
they have photos of it.
I know they have photos of a wooden structure. It doesn't mean it's like the one. Like, what if somebody just went up there and like made a wooden structure trying to capitalize on all this, and they got caught, but the real monolith disappeared? Like, we don't know that.
I promise you that the idea that we have in modern media culturally of aliens doing these weird, creepy, inexplicable things is silly. If there's any other life forms, they're going to be about a couple of things: food, resources, or destruction.
Don't say if. You know, there are other life forms out there. Can we admit that?
Yeah. But the idea that there are these bipedal grays may not be.
It's still just a fun idea, though. It's a fun idea. It's a really.
I would love for it to be an ARG for Halo. I love bees, baby.
You know, they've done that before, right? ARGs.
I love bees. That's what it was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't hear you say it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. You know what else is pretty great outside of a monolith? Merch.
Merch.
Manny, Kim, someone, can you guys do the merch drop on chat? Like, if anyone feels like supporting me and what I do around here, and by extension, Zach,
you should support Gabe.
Yeah, you should support. There is a Shopify site. You can go pick up one of 3 things. I have the hoodie that I'm wearing right now. I have the t-shirt that I'm also wearing now, but it's under the hoodie. It's like way harder for y'all to see, but it's there. And
did you make this yourself?
Yeah, I designed them.
Look at you, man.
Did you see the latest one? I put a 2020 sucks one. I only made 7 of them because I want to 7's a lucky number, right? And I feel the way we move on from 2020 to 2021 in a good fashion is we do something 7 related. So I'm making 7 of those. Those are like $5 more expensive than the regular ones. So I'm sending 5 of those. Go check. Have you seen that one? Go check out the site. I just posted it maybe like 10 minutes ago.
I will go and open the site. You're prolonging my ability to make my pitch for you.
Oh, you got a pitch for me? Go ahead. I'm listening.
I survived 2020 virus president lockdown. Okay, man. I like the hoodie. I like the hoodie with the blue and the gray.
Yeah.
That's my pick.
Yeah, I designed everything. You know, and I'm not some great designer by any means, but
I like they're cool. I like. Ooh, the purple's pretty nice too.
Yeah.
Here is gonna be my thing for all the kind words that you gave. I will give you kind words back, which is that Gabe is a phenomenal person as well. Someone that I've known now for 6.5, 7 years.
Yeah.
We're going. It's consistently been a supportive, positive, always there friend. And you guys don't know the difficult things that have gone down in Gabe's life that are completely fair and completely not his fault and completely not at his choice or doing, but he persevered and pushed through in a positive way. And I can promise you that 99 out of 100 people faced with the circumstances and situation Gabe has had in his life, even in just the 6.5 years I've known him, would not be able to come out with the positive, upbeat, happy attitude that he has. So support the heck out of the man. Come on.
Thank you, man.
Do it.
I appreciate the kind words. I really do.
It's true. It's easy to be appreciative when it's true.
Yeah. Okay, I'm getting a question. Is the hoodie true to size? Yeah, for the most part. They fit a tiny bit snug, but they're not going to shrink. Mine is the size I wear, and I'm perfectly fine. So, yeah, true to size on everything. So, all right. So now that we're talking about me, what we should have always been talking about, because I'm amazing. No, I'm not that amazing. But I told you to come up with a few things for you to ask me, right? For maybe people that watch me regularly so they can learn some fun stuff about me too. Did you come up with anything?
The ones I came up with aren't very fun, but I will give you fun ones.
Wait, hold on a second. No, yes. Dude, I might have messed that up. If you ordered the 2021 and I didn't add sizes, just tell me what size you are. I got you. Like, I will fix that. Don't worry about it. So if you want to just be one of the first, like the only 7 to order the 2021, order it. Don't worry about the size. You tell me what size you are, and I will make it right. I promise.
I had the things I had were more sad, but my
whatever
fun,
whatever you want.
My fun one was going to be well, the most pressing question is, are we gonna have an actual Mrs. Gabe that stays at some point here?
Dude, I'm gonna hang out with 2 people this weekend. Like,
there you go.
And I often like sit there and wonder, like, am I that idiot that's just like a serial dater? Even though I don't even count so many of these as dates, but there are people like that, right? Like, you know, you go to Christmas with your family every week, and you have that cousin that's bringing a different person every year. You're like, dude, like, settle the hell down, like, figure it out. But like, for me, it's more about the right fit, and that's always what it's been.
Yeah.
And more recently, like, hey, I need someone around. I'm open about that. So I hope so, man. I had lunch with someone today. Wasn't anything crazy special. I had dinner with someone yesterday. Wasn't someone crazy? Like,
my advice is patience.
Yeah, but
and slow.
No, dude. But I'm telling you, I did the slow, and I'm going back to the slow. But you also had an issue when I was going slow, so you can't have it both ways.
No. But it's a different kind of slow. We talked about this.
Oh yeah, no.
My other questions for you, I guess, would be, you and I have been friends for a while, and you have seen me go up and down and all around. But I was gonna say, like, what is one thing that you've learned from me, and then I'll give you one thing I've learned from you.
Man, like the thing is, I've learned quite a bit from you, honestly. I have. Like, it's hard to pinpoint, so you're gonna need to give me a second to think about it.
That's fine. I definitely have learned. I think that.
Hold on. Hey. Oh, you cut out. You're gonna need to start that sentence again.
I was just say I think that you have continued to influence my gratitude and ability to shrug off majority of negative or bad situations. Like, I'm not saying anything terrible has happened to me, but there are definitely things that have happened and continue to happen where I could let it really get to me. But your constant ability to deflect sounds negative, to remain positive and upbeat and perspective, I think, has continued to influence my perspective of, it's not so bad. Still doing really great.
I'm not Gabe.
Still good. No, I don't even mean that. I mean, just like the fact that things that have happened with you and you're still to maintain positive.
For sure.
It's super important to have that perspective. And like, my channel got hacked for 10 days. Didn't have my channel for, 10 of the probably most lucrative days of the year. And a lot of stuff happened. It's like, could be so much freaking worse. So it's like, it's not a big deal.
I guess like the main one, the one that I enjoyed the most, like, of Zach rubbing off on me. It's being okay with, like, acknowledging, like, that you're okay, like, that you're good, like, and like, maybe like sounds negative, but you remember 3 years ago, maybe I was like, man, like I'm so done with life. This could end
Yeah.
tomorrow. And I don't believe I was depressed, although you might make an argument that I was.
You were.
Regardless, I wasn't like sad depressed. Like,
Yeah.
but I was like, man, I'm so done with all of this. And I feel like you had a decently big part in having that giant shift, because now I don't want this to be done.
Yeah. That's
Like
awesome.
I still there's a lot I want to do still, right? And seeing you be able to, again, this sounds bad, but seeing you be able to like self-love so much, like that rubs off. I'm like, hey, like it's okay because Zach's amazing. So maybe
Yeah.
if I do it a little bit more, I'm not like some jerk.
Yeah, that's valid. That's fair.
Yeah.
Do these people know about your strange hatreds of certain things?
They know some of them. Like the word happened the other night. Like somebody said the word.
Did you talk about that?
Yeah. So like I told them, like there's some words that just like send like, I describe it as a bolt of anger through my body, but I'm not.
Trigger word.
Yeah, but I'm not destructive. I'm not gonna like break anything or hit anyone. But
Do they know about your condiment fiasco? Because you said fun things.
yeah, they know I don't. Yeah, they know. I've never had ketchup, mayo, or mustard in my life, and I never will. I've never had avocado in any. Like maybe I've had it in sushi by accident.
Gabe has told me that he wouldn't take like $5,000 to eat a packet of ketchup.
Hell, a packet? Hell no.
That's
No.
insane to me. A harmless packet of ketchup,
Dude, no.
and he would do it for $5,000 or $10,000.
It's so gross. Like, oh man, like just like thinking about it like freaks me out. Beans, I don't do. Like, I'm like semi-allergic to beans. Like, I get sick. So I'm very picky about food, but it all goes back to the fact that I don't have a sense of smell. Maybe not everybody knows that. It's not a COVID thing. I was born without a sense of smell. Like, I just can't smell anything. So for me, food is way more visual. Plus, my taste buds are altered a little bit. So, and like that stuff looks like so slimy and gross. I don't want it anywhere near me. This girl today, when we were having lunch, she was putting mayo all over her. I was like, man, that's not pleasant. That's not pleasant.
Have you told them about our yin yang?
I think it's fascinating that we cannot date someone at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Like, like if I'm single, Zach is dating someone, and vice versa.
pretty freaking weird. And then I was going to ask if you had a favorite. We've been on a decent amount of travels. I mean,
yeah.
If we're blunt, a lot of your travels in the last 5 years have been with me.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have a favorite moment or memory?
You're not gonna like it.
Because we got robbed?
No, hell no. No, that was bad.
Okay.
When Noah made me bleed playing basketball, I love that.
Why?
Like that's the energy I like. Like I was standing outside. I sweat a lot. For those of you that don't know, I was standing outside in the snow and like all sweaty and just basketball shorts and a t-shirt, no hoodie. Like I'm from Texas. Like I don't do snow, but I was just like so like I was not angry, but I was like pumped up. I'm like, man, he made me bleed. Like I'm ultra competitive too. Yeah. Like just those times that that we were at the gym. We won't say the name, but we were like at that gym playing basketball with the people we were playing basketball with. Like that's always my favorite thing. My least favorite thing is when we play basketball for the first time, and I always talk such a big game about how much I enjoy playing basketball. And I was so out of shape, dude. And we were in Pasadena, and we went, and I couldn't freaking move, man.
I was gonna say one of my favorite memories. That was the first time we ever. I believe that's the first time we ever like actually hung out. Because we like said, but I believe that was the first time we like hung out. Was that E3, that Pasadena one with Trevor?
Yeah.
Or no, because we were at PAX with Max.
Hey, shout out to Max. He was here a little while ago.
But that was the first time we like did anything like physical.
I'm interviewing Max next week. Hey, I already talked to him about it, so that's cool.
Amazing. Yeah. Love that guy. That's one of my YouTube regrets. Wish I had more time with
watch him. That one because he has a mind. Like his mind works so much different than both of ours. Like he's done so much, not better like number wise, but his trajectory to like success as a business person is just like that's not us.
It's incredibly impressive.
Okay, but what are you gonna say?
I was going to say that like the first, because we hung out at PAX, so that's video game related, but in that time in Pasadena, we did stuff that wasn't like, we went and, just like hung out, got food, played basketball.
I love
and
that.
Like, I remember me and Jake thought it was, because you were like, hey, I sweat a lot, so like you guys might want to roll down the windows when we're coming home from basketball. And me and Jake, we were like, what the heck? Might want to roll down the windows. What's going to happen?
Yeah. No, because I don't know, because since I don't have a sense of smell, I don't know what stinks. I've been told my sweat doesn't stink, though.
I loved when we were in San Francisco. And remember that time? I don't know what was going on with me. Freaking weird. Remember we wore like the cowboy hats and we got Pinkberry and we made the video trying to like list out all the Pokemon and yeah, that was just
that
wild.
was also the day you and I got in the shower together with
No,
clothes.
different day.
That was a different day.
The shower was PAX with Max and Trevor.
Okay.
This was San Francisco for some Ubisoft thing, and Gabe would hate walking up the hills. Hated that Ubisoft put us at the hotel up by the hill.
No, I had no problem with the hotel being up the hill. We can take an Uber.
I wanted to walk, and Gabe wouldn't want to walk.
Dude, I'm not walking uphill, man. I'm from Texas. We don't have hills that you walk up.
Goodness gracious, man.
Yeah. Also, like the escape rooms are like great. Like, you know, I thought like I had so much fun doing like an escape room that's meant for like 4 to 6 people with just me and you, and like being successful. Cool. Like, you can't complete those with just anyone.
Because you and I did the one with like the Zelda mirror.
Yes.
Yeah. That was my first. A weird like Russian guy, and it was that was. Yeah. And then we did the one that was like a science one, and we held like the samurai swords at the end.
Also, you know, shout out to Noah once again. Noah's getting a lot of mention here today. The one where he was like scared out of his mind, like he could barely walk. I remember. Your mom was there too.
No, my mom was not there.
Yeah,
no,
was.
San Antonio.
No, dude.
No, she wasn't. You did one with my mom in Indianapolis, but the one in San Antonio was me, you, Jake, and Noah. And there was like, it was a haunted house that converted to an escape room.
Was your mom not there?
And there was like, air like shut out the walls, and there was like a lady like banging on the door. Yeah.
Okay. All right. If you have one more thing for me, and after that, we'll take some questions from the viewers. A lot of people were lovely and donated a bunch today. You want to just go to questions?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, Brooke, if Ashton's question is about the butt rubs, I'm not asking it. Like, no one likes butt rubs.
I have no butt, so there's not much to rub.
No, they want to ask you if I like butt rubs. I don't.
Oh, I don't think...
Nah, man.
Gabe has a lot of peculiar dislikes and likes, so... Yeah. Well, I don't know about the likes, but dislikes.
All right. Okay. If you guys have any questions for Zach or I, feel free to drop them. And, you know, if it's for Zach, I'll let him know. If it's for me, I'll answer you and read it out loud. All right. So we're taking questions for a little bit before we move on out of here. And then we're going to do the giveaway for Immortals Phoenix Rising on PC.
Fantastic game. Underappreciated.
I love it. Is it crazy to say it's one of my games of the year? Like, no, probably not the one, but one of them for sure.
One of them, absolutely.
Top 5?
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy. It's been a down year. I don't care what people say. It's a down year.
Yeah, dude, COVID. Is that Zach's real hair color? No.
He knows that. Come on, man.
Zach, are you excited for new BioShock, or are you scared?
Super excited.
So you're not worried?
I mean, even if it's bad, it's still BioShock. Like, it's still more in that world.
Here. Let's ask this. I like this question.
Mm-hmm.
What does Zach look for in a girlfriend? That comes from Princess. I'm so sorry. I don't want to butcher your name, so I'll just call you Princess.
Princess Amy M.
Okay. So maybe just 3 things you look for in a girlfriend.
Affection, ability to be expressive verbally and physically.
Okay.
The ability to understand me and my quirks.
Yeah.
It's difficult. And it sounds weird, but like intelligence, like, you know, the ability to carry a conversation, the ability to beat me in board games, the ability to be, and gotta be cute, gotta have a nice butt, gotta be cute. Gotta.
Hey, Zach's all for the butt rubs. All right, friend of the show, Nintendo Talk says, "What is Zach's 5-year plan with SwitchForce?" I don't know. I don't know if he has a 5-day plan.
My 5-day plan.
Yeah, what's his 5-day plan? No, all right, 5 years, man. The Switch won't be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like the long-term thing right now is trying to build quality, because like that's what Gabe and I always go back to, is like you should at least put, you know, the best effort forward you can. So it's trying to build quality. The hard part with this is like so much of it's dependent on what Nintendo puts out, right? Because I don't have the personality, just vlog channel. I'm kind of so reliant on what they do. So Pat, the plan is Nintendo, please put out the Switch Pro in March or April. Really would appreciate that.
I don't think it's coming March or April, but it's 100% coming next year. I feel
Nintendo, please put out Breath of the Wild 2 and a new Mario game and Metroid Prime 4 and give me a lot to talk about. No, I don't think I'll be doing SwitchForce in 5 years.
I hope not.
Yeah. 5 years is a long time, man. I'll be 36.
Yeah.
I hope I have a kid at 36.
I hope so too. I mean, so some of these like you know, game questions. Hades is a good game, phenomenal game, one of the best games of the year. Hishin says, "What's
That's a
up,
good one.
Gabe and Zach? Josh here. Where have you two always wanted to live? Are you content with where you're currently living at?" Absolutely not.
I don't really like Indiana.
I have dreams of like Zach and I one day living in a different country, like not living together. Like I don't want to live with Zach, but like us.
Room.
No, but us being in the same city in a different country.
I would love to just live back in California.
Yeah, California's like that's the one. It's
It was
a
so
beautiful,
good.
beautiful
It was so
place.
fun.
Manny says, Zach, when can we expect more Disney blind bags? Probably never.
Probably never.
Yeah.
Pat, I have such tea for you, man. I'm not ready to talk about it, but it specifically involves you, so that's wild.
I wonder if you heard about what. No, you didn't hear about what I heard. Gabe, have you watched The Mandalorian yet? Yeah, I don't like it. That's not for me. I don't like Star Wars. You wouldn't want Zach as your roommate. Zach is dirty.
I am not dirty. I'm messy. I'm not
messy.
God.
Messy. He's messy.
God, you have to be careful what you say about me.
Zach
you call me a liar when I'm just a good storyteller. You call me dirty when I'm just messy.
I mean, these are kind of the same things.
Yeah.
Let's see. What shoe size do you wear?
11.5. Got small feet for my size.
Yeah, I beat him. I wear size 12, and I'm shorter than him, so.
Gabe is shorter than you think he is.
No, I'm not. That's just a lie.
5'10".
I'm not 5'10", dude. You keep.
You're not 6 foot.
I know I'm not. Then you wonder why I call you a liar? Because you were just lying.
It's embellishing for impact.
I am not 5'10".
Okay, 5'11", 5'10.5".
No, I'm like 5'11 and a half.
Okay.
I'm not 6 foot. I'm like just under 6 feet.
What do you look for in a girlfriend, Mr. Single?
A lot of things.
3 things.
Shit, there's more than 3.
But just you pick 3.
Like intelligence and being able to hold a conversation to the degree that I want is very important. Mm-hmm. Like if that goes well, you're liable to be stuck in my house for 48 hours. Like it's
gross. That's creepy.
No, but outside of that, I haven't looked for this in the past, but maybe something I need to look for now is someone that doesn't need help. Like you got like for now, like you gotta have some stability because like I feel that is where I keep going wrong. Right, with my most recent girlfriend that people here like know her name, but I won't say it. But even then, it was just like, oh, I could help here a lot. Like and that's always my thing. I always
white knighting is addictive. It feels good. You know, we're helpful people.
Yeah, so I gotta figure. You know, one of the candidates here has her like own business and like she's like super well put together. So we'll
see.
The
Bachelor Gabe.
No, it's just because I'm seeing maybe like 2 or 3 people like in the next few days. Ash, I'm not ignoring you. I don't know what the question is. What are your thoughts on Nintendo Land? Will you be going to Japan? I probably won't be going to Japan. It
turns me on to see those photos. They look so good.
I've never been to an amusement park outside of when I went with Zach.
He refuses. We tried to go. We were right at the gates, and you refused to go.
No, I went in, dude. We went in.
No, we did not. We did not. We got to the parking garage, and we got to the tram, and then you're like, nah.
So who did I've been to Disney, dude. Like we
haven't.
Dude, yes.
You have not been in. You have not been in. We were gonna go, and then we didn't.
We got on the tram, and it took us, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but we didn't get tickets. You were like, "Oh, I don't want you to pay that much money." Back.
Yeah, Gabe is a nice guy. After all, I'm super nice. Like I don't know why some people like maybe. I think my raunchiness and like my like open and like I joke around a lot, so maybe people expect or take that as not being nice. But yeah, I'm very nice. I'll scare a cleaning lady and thinking like that I'm a terrorist because I'm too nice.
What a weird moment that was.
Yeah. This is the part I gotta get better at. I don't have practice in any of this.
It's snack time, Gabe. I gotta go have my organic mango sorbet with my mom.
If you want to leave, say bye. Say bye. I'll
okay. Good?
Yeah, say bye then.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for watching. That was honestly very fun. Gabe, you were really good. You did a good job. I'm impressed and proud of you.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you for being here. I'll talk to you a little bit later. Much love
to
Zach.
You all.
We all
Bye,
love
Gabe
him.
Stuff. I'll see y'all soon.
All right, bye.